Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. More new Dina Wakley inspiration for you today. So I'm still playing in the new journal. Absolutely love it. I'm going to be using um, the pensive face image that's on the new collage paper. I've grabbed a tag that I've made before, so I have a little stash of tags and bits of card that I mop up and try new techniques and things on. I've got a little pack so that sometimes when I'm creating like this, I can grab a tag, and I'm going to use that as my kind of starting point for colours. So I'm starting off with Orchid, going straight onto the journal page. There's no gesso, there's no need for that because I want to kind of water the paint down so I can play with it in a more watercolour style. So as long as I'm not rubbing too hard here, you can see that I can lift enough of the paint off the paper to create that reductive stenciling layer. It works perfectly fine. So I'm going to give that layer a quick dry before I go in with my next colour, which is going to be turquoise. However, there was a bit of orchid left on my brush, so it went a little bit purpley, but that really isn't a problem. I'm just painting some of that on. I'm going to do the same thing. Again, just lifting a bit of the colour through the stencil. The cloth that you can see on my desk is a bit of an old sheet. I tend to have some of that on hand just for mopping up instead of using quite so much kitchen paper. Next, I'm just going through and actually doing some stenciling onto my page using the same colour and the stencil. Decided I wanted it a bit more obvious, and then using Orchid and going in with a slightly smaller circle. So I've got quite a nice bold background going on here. And then I knew that I wanted to use cheddar. So what I'm going to do next is start to think about how to pop some cheddar on my page. And one way that you can do this is to create a colour wash. So watering down the paint, lots and lots of water, and I'm using this nice big flat brush, and I'm just going to pull the paint across the page, and I want it to be quite watered down so that it's more of a sheer layer, and you can see that's just almost tinting the background. So you can do this with any colour. So if you did it with white, it would push the background away, but here this is giving this page a really lovely warm glow to it, which kind of matches the tag that I've chosen to use on my page. So colour washing is a great tool to add to your little toolbox of mixed media techniques. So that needs a really good dry because my page, as you can see, is quite wet. So just giving it a quick dry. Then I'm popping out, I think that might have been mustard, but it might be also more cheddar. I'm not sure. Those two colours are very close to each other. And here I'm just adding some stenciling using the same colour. You can't really see it, but it is a little touch darker. So at the moment, I'm not introducing any more colours than what is already on there. So yeah, that was cheddar. Then this, my all-time favourite face stencil. Absolutely love this stencil. And the fact that you can then match it with this collage paper, and there is also a stamp that's come out with it on too in a previous stamp set. So now I'm just thinking about where I want this face image to go on my background page. Now, obviously with an image like this, you're going to lose lots of your background. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not positioning anything in an odd place where the eye and the mouth are going to be. And I'm going in with black. I want it to be a nice bold contrast with the background. So using black is a great way to go. Obviously, with a stencil like this, you don't want to have too much paint on your tool that you're using to apply the paint because there's some quite fine details on the eyes, nose and mouth, and I want to keep those lines as sharp as I can. So by not having too much paint, I can make sure that I get those details as sharply as possible onto my page. Isn't that just such a cool image? And then all I'm doing here is just extending it down my page just so it's not floating. I hate things floating on my page. I have a bit of a thing about it. It kind of doesn't really work for me. So, but you know, we're all different. As I always say, my journal, my way, and that's the way it should be. So, and here I'm just extending it out to the edge on the right hand side. So I just want to kind of anchor it onto my page, and you can see that just by connecting it, that really does help. Now again, while the paint is still damp, I can go in and with a baby wipe that's not too wet, so I've squeezed the excess paint out, water out, paint, honestly. I'm just lifting some of that black off around the edges, and that's just going to soften some of those edges for me. So now I'm just going to add the image to the tag. This is the pensive face collage from the collage paper that Dina's just released as well. And I'm going to pop a couple of images onto this tag. So then I've got 3 images in total. So I'm kind of working with my odd number theme that I like to use. I'm using Dina's gel medium to stick that down as well. So now I'm thinking about pushing away some of those edges. So going in with some white is a great way to do that. And then I decided it was too much. So I'm just pushing some away with the baby wipe and then just smudging with my finger just to soften some of those marks a little bit. But you can see how that helps to break down the harshness of those lines that are around the edge of the image. Splatters are another great way to add mark making and also just soften things by adding a few splatters. You can see I'm now doing that as well. So there are so many different little techniques that pulled together can help you create an absolutely awesome journal page. So now I'm thinking about the tag and I'm wanting to introduce a bit more black onto there. That's just to make the images feel a bit more like they belong, because at the moment I've literally just stuck them on and they're not grounded on there. So by adding a little bit of black stenciling around those, it just helps those feel like they fit. And then I'm thinking about how I'm going to pop this into my journal. So I'm going to use washi tape. Obviously, washi tape is not permanent. So I've got my double-sided tape gun and I'm just going to pop a little bit of double-sided tape on the edge of the tag onto the page and then put the washi on top of it. So you'll actually see that when I flip the tag over and do the other side, you'll see what I mean here. So I'm going to grab the tape gun and just make sure it's lined up with the edge of the tag over onto the page. So I've got that extra bit of adhesive there to help the washi tape stick. I've gone for a black and white washi because I don't really want it to detract from anything else that's going on. And then just to make that washi feel like it's not just an afterthought, I'm going to pop a bit of washi onto my journal page as well. So when I'm doing a page like this and I want it to work together, I think about elements that I can pull across from both. So from the page onto the tag and the tag onto the page, vice versa. So it all flows and is cohesive. Then I've grabbed some stoked paint. This is just a cookie cutter. I've got a little set of different sizes and stamping it in just creates those stamped marks around the edge of my page. I'm loving that little pop of pink. That's going to work really nicely with those lovely warm tones that are on my page. Um, so that's a really helpful way to just bring an extra little pop of colour. I also have a little pot of stamped phrases from lots and lots of Dina's stamp sets and other designers as well. Keep them in a pot. I've also stenciled some quotes to go in there. So often I can just have a little look through there and see what speaks to me in that moment and pop those words on. So that's what I've done here. I've also stamped them onto different substrates as well, so I can mix up um, what looks right on my page. And then I'm going to use Dina's Alpha block stamp set just to stamp out the word I am and pop that on my page. And then that's all going to make sense. It's just like different phrases, and I am is the overarching sort of theme that goes with it. So I'm going to stick that up at the top. So then when you don't move the tag, you can see the sense of what this page is all about. But also you've got that little lift the tag thing as well. I did stick some collage paper on the back of the tag, but you could use that as an opportunity to do some journaling if you wanted to. Here's the finished page. So I love it when collage paper, stamps and stencils all work together and you've got different ways of getting that image onto your page. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the little technique of using a colour wash to add different depth and colour to your page. Maybe you'll give it a try. If you do, don't forget to comment below. I'd love to see. If you share your work on social media, tag me in it because I love to see what you guys create. Don't forget to leave don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Gosh, should have put my teeth in properly this morning. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.